welcome to everyone, dear Secretary General Anders Rasmussen, dear Director General Sanna Leppola, dear colleagues from other European institutions, dear representatives of the national parliaments, and I could say dear practitioners of the Foresight community, and ladies and gentlemen, and all others who are present in this beautiful library reading room. Good afternoon. It is with much pleasure that I open this biannual conference on Foresight and on better lawmaking. The topic of this event, Foresight and Better Lawmaking, organized by the Director General for Parliamentary Democracy Partnerships, DG Part, and also our fantastic Director General for the European Parliament Research Service, brings to mind a citation by the great European Jacques Delors. He said in French, "En Europe, il faut le pompier, mais aussi l'architecte." So we need people who extinguish the fire, but we need builders, we need architects, we need creators. And I think your conference is an opportunity to collectively reflect today and tomorrow among representatives of the European national parliaments, among Foresight practitioners, among the better lawmaking community about past, but also on ongoing crisis, but most importantly about the future. Our common future, which we as national parliaments and as the European Parliament are bound to shape together. Let us grasp this opportunity, let us honor the legacy of Jacques Delors, and let us become the architects of the future. I wish to begin by drawing your attention to our world of today, driven by uncertainty and multiplication of regional conflicts, including on our own European continent. Russia's brutal and unprovoked invasion of Ukraine came as a shock, anticipated by only a few. It led to a rapid transformation of our European Union policies, in particular energy policy and also defense and security policy. We've also learned a lesson. For long, we have neglected foresight. We've been taught the harsh way that we have to stand by our commitment and place foresight again at the heart of our policy making in order to plan for the best and to anticipate for the worst. Let us learn from these lessons and place foresight at the core of our joint national and European efforts to future-proof our policies. For us as a parliament, as parliamentarians and as co-legislators, future-proofing policies and legislation is and must remain a key component of our work. We need to stand by our better law-making commitments, which stem from the treaties reinforced by interinstitutional agreements. So let me highlight here the pivotal role of national parliaments in shaping future-proof EU policies, in full respect of the principle of subsidiarity and, of course, proportionality. And we wish to engage with you, colleagues, and build a community of practices, a proposal put forward in the first Better Lawmaking Conference in 2022. Each one of us, parliamentarians, at the national and at the European level, are partners in designing the futures. And I always recall, I was myself a national parliamentarian, and I always recall that we are elected by the same citizens, by the same people. We are representing exactly the same people. So it's that together we have to shape the future of our citizens, of the Europeans. I'm also very happy to see that you have or are about to create your own in-house foresight capacities in many national parliaments. So really, please, let us join forces, exchange practices, learn from past lessons, and contribute our fair share to build a secure future for the next generations of Europeans. It's only through foresight that we can grasp the trends and the challenges that will shape our world of tomorrow. And it is only through foresight that we will be able to anticipate threats and risks, to strategize and build resilience. And it's only through foresight that we can shape a common vision, and I want to add a common European vision, future-proof our policies and secure a better future for our fellow European citizens. So what is foresight? I'm often asked that. It is not about preferences, but about mapping options, including those which we would not like to see materialize, but which must but for which we must be prepared for. Few anticipated the scale and the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. No one questions, with the wisdom of hindsight, our need to prepare on all fronts to possible future cross-border health threats. From the COVID-19 pandemic, we learned a lesson on the strengths of pooling resources, of acting together when faced with global threats. Foresight is also about the long term. The Green Deal, the Commission made its priority, is an example of a policy where evidence, scientific evidence, and strategic foresight play their full role. And therefore, I'm sometimes shocked if I see colleagues who want to water down this Green Deal, as if climate change would pause and say, well, we have to pause a bit, it's going too fast, or no, the climate change doesn't pause. So therefore, this foresight and the Green Deal are really important in our policy making. In Foresight, we do not think in electoral cycles, but as what I just mentioned, many of us, and maybe me sometimes too, I don't want to exclude me from that, it's very difficult as a politician to not think about the next election, but we really have to make this effort and to overcome this disease of politicians. In Foresight, we have to learn to think in decades. Yet election results resonate locally and globally, shaping politics for the years and the decades to come. Year 2024 comes with major ballots around the world, including on our own continent. The result of these elections will shape the composition of governments and of parliaments in several of our European Union member states. And in the global perspective, we know that 4 billion people, half of the world's population, are expected to cast a vote this year. I think this is historic. And we are now 3 months ahead, 95 days, I believe, or 94 days ahead of the European elections of June 6th to the 9th, where hundreds of millions of voters, and many of them young ones, and I'm very happy that some countries lowered the voting age. In Greece, you can now vote at 17. In Austria, Belgium, and Germany, and Malta, it's 16. I hope in 2029 it will be in all 27 member states. Many millions of people go to the ballot box to cast their individual vote to elect their representatives to this wonderful European Parliament, and I recall the only EU institution directly elected by citizens. And it is for them and also the next generations that we need to future-proof our policies. And let me stress that future-proofing policies entails making them more resilient, more fair, more equal for all our citizens. And therefore, it is time now, at the eve of the elections, ahead of the next institutional cycle, 2024-2029, to pause and to reflect on the strategic choices ahead of us, on our ability to act alone or with partners, on the policy-making instruments we may need. As a member of this European Parliament and as a Vice President of this House, let me underline that we as a Parliament have supported the goal to make better use of strategic foresight. We've called for its integration when it adds value into ex-ante impact assessment, ex-post evaluations and refit exercises. As co-legislators, we co-decide with the Council of National Ministers on the legislative proposals submitted by the Commission. We debate, we amend, and we try and we reach to find common ground. And then we adopt the final text. So let me stress, much work takes place in the preparatory stages before a proposal comes to Parliament also. And this time is key. It allows the Commission to identify how the proposed initiative could shape the future. And it is key to be transparent and to keep the Parliament informed during these early stages. And I'm very happy also that President von der Leyen announced that the Commission will now also do use checks to see if the legislation proposed is future fit, if it serves the young citizens, the young Europeans, and I think this is something very good. And of course, we have to have this reflex in the Parliament to mirror this and also check when we analyze, when we write amendments, are they future fit? Are they in the line with what young people expect from us? So it's very important, as I said, that the Commission informs us about all that work, and a further strengthening of the existing interinstitutional cooperation is, I think, much needed. And when I mean interinstitutional cooperation, this also includes then the collaboration we have through SANA with our national parliaments. So we have to really have good exchanges on this. So what are the benefits of using foresight in better lawmaking? It allows identifying early on policy gaps and needs, it allows acting upon time, and it allows future-proofing our policies for our citizens. And let me stress that by using foresight methodology, our collective commitment to evidence-based policy making is only better served. I've set the scene, let me now move to the conference itself. It is my very strong belief that this conference is ideally placed to shape the debate on foresight and better lawmaking by linking the levels. I hence wish to extend again a warm welcome to the representatives of national parliaments as well as those of various national, international, European organizations working on foresight. In the context of this conference, we have the possibility to reflect on how to enhance dialogue with national parliaments and other partners so that we shape our future together. I'm happy to see this conference bringing together a unique, and I use the word community, of practitioners and academics to exchange views and share practices. So let me encourage you to continue to exchange views beyond the framework of this biannual conference in a more continuous way. Through interparliamentary cooperation and through this network, we could find new ways to cooperate on foresight and on better lawmaking. Let us use this conference to reflect on the way to bring to life the community of practitioners I mentioned earlier. It is only by joining forces and shaping good practices and evidence that we as parliaments, as a union, can future-proof policies, that we can lead by example, that we can consolidate globally our widely recognized normative power and position. We can be proud of our core values: freedom, democracy, rule of law, and respect of human rights, and they inform our policies. But they cannot be taken for granted and must be constantly defended. The same goes for democracy and also for citizens' trust, which we as parliamentarians must constantly earn. Our policies must respond to our citizens' concerns. They must deliver on issues which matter to them. And I see that now being in campaign. The first question is, and also by journalists, what have you done where citizens have a concrete in their everyday life they need it? And then it's sometimes difficult to switch from the language I use here in Brussels to a language that citizens can understand, and not because they are not well informed, but just they don't understand that language. And this is also something we have to work and to make efforts. Foresight, with its anticipatory function, is key. It allows to future-proof policies, it allows responding to the concerns of the citizens, and it helps meeting their expectations. So today and tomorrow you will focus on foresight, you will take stock of our existing practices, but most importantly, you will look at what could be improved in the next institutional cycle. As I said, you will be the architects. And before I bring to close my opening remark, let me come back to the importance of evidence in policy making. As a House, we have a long-lasting commitment to this principle. The Directorate for Impact Assessment and Foresight in the Directorate General of EPRS provides us not only us MEPs, but our offices and our advisors with tailor-made research on better lawmaking and also on strategic foresight, which we as parliamentarians can use in our daily activity. I would like to praise the work of the different units, and let me also stress the importance of the work undertaken also at interinstitutional level. And I'm very happy to see Stephen here, and because in ESPAS we work quite well together in the European Strategy Policy Analysis System with the Commission, with the Council, with the European External Action Service, with the European Investment Bank and a few others. And this was also for me wonderful as a Vice President to be catapulted into that world. And I'm really very excited also when the fourth global trend reports, which is awaited in a few weeks, or you might tell us more about it. And this is also a very important exercise which we do on the interinstitutional level. Maybe one last word. Tomorrow is the 8th of March. It's International Women's Day. And I really have to recall that there is no crisis which is gender neutral. And we've seen it through the past that in most crises, it was especially women who suffered more, which faced greater challenges. And therefore, also, we should not forget this gender aspect in policy. And we're often attacked, me as a feminist, I'm always attacked by some of being an ideologist, but I just always say women's rights are human rights. So when I talk about the gender agenda, that's not an ideological agenda, it's just a human rights agenda. And therefore, I'm happy that this conference starts today and it will end tomorrow on the 8th of March. Thank you so much for being here. I wish you 2 fruitful days. It's very impolite for me now to leave. I have to drive back to Luxembourg, but as I know, this is enregistré, how do you say? This is taped, thank you so much. This is recorded, and I love to go on YouTube, and on the many travels we do as MEPs, I put my earpods on and I will listen to this because I'm very excited to hear, because these are places when parliamentarians come together with academics, with representatives of national parliaments. This is places where these are very important moments where we really learn a lot, and I've always taken a lot out of these meetings. And so thank you very much, and I wish you fruitful days. And I think then, who is moderating now, and who is it? Oh, it's you. So please come, and thank you so much, and see you soon. Thank you.